Okay, next topic, the class Chondrichthyes. Those are called cartilaginous fishes. So cartilage fishes characteristic features have completely cartilaginous endoskeleton. So they have completely cartilaginous endoskeleton. So the total endoskeleton is made up of by cartilaginous tissue. Generally, the body is streamlined. Streamline means what? Towards the water. So the body is moved. So are spindle shaped. Their body is spindle shaped. Spindle shaped. Okay, like that. Spindle shaped means what? So like this way, triangular shape. Like this way, triangular shape. This is called spindle shape. Okay, the body is spindle shape. Like this way will be there. Like this way. Like this way, spindle shape. Okay. And so the spindle shaped generally seen in scoliodon or scoliodon. So in the scoliodon, dorso-ventrally flattened. The body's dorsal side, ventral side is flattened and the disc shaped. Okay, so scoliodon, dorsiventral flattened and disc shaped in electric ray fishes. The mouth is located on the ventral side. Generally, this is ventral side. This is ventral side. Back is the dorsal side. And ventral side. On the ventral side, mouth is located. On ventral side, mouth is located. So notochord is persistent throughout the life. Notochord means what? So generally notochord, just like a backbone, it is present throughout their lives. Respiration occurs by gills. Respiration occurs by gills. So here paired gills will be there. Paired gills. Paired gills. Okay. So the paired gills will be there. The gill slits are visible and are without operculum. Here these are gills. So here gill slits will be there. Gill slits. Gill slits are visible and are without operculum. Operculum means what? Bone-shaped structure is not present in cartilaginous species. So it is tough and covered by placoid scales. So placoid scales. So scales. So generally, fish body is covered by a kind of a skin-like surface. Those are called placoid scales. Those are fixed with the skin. All fixed with the skin. Next, the tail fin is asymmetrical. So this is the called tail fin. The tail fin is asymmetrical. The body is asymmetrical. Okay. So eight bladder is absent. Eight bladder is absent. So cartilaginous species don't have swim bladder, which helps. Generally, we don't have air bladder. Air bladder is absent. Due to the absence of air bladder, cartilaginous species don't have swim bladder, which helps in buoyancy. Buoyancy means what? Freely float on upper surface of water. Hence, sharks must keep swimming constantly, or they will sink in the water. They will sink at the bottom of the water. Okay, that's it. Heart is two-chambered. So the heart, generally, the heart is two-chambered. The heart is two-chambered. One is arachil, another one is two-chambered, like this way, two-chambered, arachil. Okay, like this way, two-chambered heart is located. They are cold-blooded, folliculotherms. Their body is cold-blooded, folliculotherms. That is, they lack the capacity to regulate their body temperature. They are unable to maintain their internal body temperature is constant. According to the environment, their body temperature is changing. So generally, sexes are separate. Fertilization takes place in female. So maybe oviparous and viviparous. So oviparous, some can lay the eggs. Some fishes may give birth directly to the young. In males, pelvic fins. In the males, pelvic fins. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. Pelvic fins bears here bears. Pelvic fins bears claspers. Pelvic fins bears claspers. Claspers means what? Pelvic fins means what? So generally pelvic pectoral. Pelvic region means what? So anus, reproductive parts were located. That region is called pelvic region. A kind of fins bears, claspers, holders. Okay. Examples: Indian shark, dogfish, electric ray, torpedo, stingray, trigon, sawfish, great white shark, carcardon, carcardon. Okay, so great white shark fish, scientific name is carcardon. Okay, so these are the features of Chondrichthyes, cartilage fish, cartilage fish. Okay, next here if you will see the class Osteichthyes, bony fishes. The bony fishes characteristic features are, so body is normally spindle shape, triangular shape with head, trunk, and tail. Head, trunk, tail will be there. Head region, trunk region, tail region. So the tail is present beyond the anus. So generally skeletons are partially or wholly bony. Generally skeleton is partially whole, maybe a skeleton. Okay, that's it. So large mouths with mobile jaws that are adapted for a different feeding habits. Large mouth. So mobile jaw. So the mouth is mobile that are adapted for different feeding habits. So they feed on planktons, arthropods, mollusks, polyps of corals. Generally, they feed on plankton. Generally, bony fishes, Osteichthyes. These are called bony fishes. They feed on planktons, phytoplanktons, arthropods, mollusks, polyps of corals, algae, small fishes. The body is covered by overlapping cycloid or ctenoid scales. So previously we have discussed what kind of scales? Placoid scales. Here, cycloid scales, a kind of a scales which are located on bony fish's body. Those are clearly visible on upper surface of the fish. So respiration common through lungs. Take in water from the mouth that passes over the gills. So excess amount of water is entered through the mouth and that water is expelled out through the gills. In the gills, exchange of gases takes place and then water leaves through the operculum. Okay, in the gills, exchange of gases takes place and then water leaves through the operculum, through the bone. Okay, that's all. So heart is two-chambered. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. So that pump the blood circulatory system. The air bladder or swim bladder is present. It helps a fish to rise. The presence of air bladder, it helps to fish rise. It gets filled with gases. Okay. So and sink at a particular depth without spending much energy. Okay. Here, air bladder is air bladder or swim bladder is present. It helps fish to rise. Okay, that air bladder is filled with gases, and yes, it helps a fish to rise. Air bladder helps the fish rise. Okay, if the air bladder is not filled, the air it will be sink. Okay, so that's next. It releases air bladder releases gas into the water at particular depth without spending much energy. Generally here, so the air bladder releases gases into the water at a particular depth without spending more and more energy. Sensory organs are a pair of eyes on the head region and normally nostrils are located. Nostrils. So oxygen is entered through them. Nostrils are present. So nostrils are present. Though nostrils are present, respiration takes place through the gills only. Nostrils, nose part. The nostrils helps in detecting odors. Nostrils means what? Nose. It helps to detect the smells. They are cold-blooded animals. The fertilization is external. Here, so it is cold-blooded animals. Previously, Chondrichthyes is cold-blooded animals, but fertilization is internal. But here, fertilization is external. Most are viviparous. Viviparous means what? Lay eggs. Some show nest building and carrying of eggs. Okay. So some fishes will build the nest and taking care of eggs. The hatching. Hatching means what? Egg gives young ones. Young ones. This process is called hatching. So example, rohu, bigal, katla, calvus, flying fish. Okay, so these are all the characteristic features of Osteichthyes. Next class, amphibia. So amphibia. So adapted to live on land and in water. Generally, larval stage is aquatic, while adult can live on land and in water. So everybody knows that. Have smooth and moist skin with a number of mucous glands in their skin, which is a kind of a mucus. It helps the frog skin slippery and moist always. There is no exoskeleton and exoskeleton of any scale. So that means what? There is no exoskeleton of there is no exoskeleton of any. There is no exoskeleton of any scales. So on exoskeleton, actual exoskeleton, on exoskeleton there is no any scales. Okay, that's all. Body is divided into distinct head region, trunk. The trunk may be extended into tail. Okay, that's all. So before neck, generally amphibians, the neck was not well developed. So the neck is absent. So have two pairs of limbs, they are tetrapods. So generally they have two pairs of limbs. So forelimbs and hindlimbs. So they are tetrapods. The forelimbs are smaller than the hindlimbs. Generally front legs. Forelimbs means front legs are smaller than the hindlimbs. Hindlimbs often have webbed foot. So webbed foot like this way. Webbed, it is webbed foot like this. Webbed feet. So salamanders have both the limbs of the same size. Generally, the amphibian salamander, it has both the limbs. It have both the limbs of same size. The eyes are provided with mobile lid called nictitating membrane. Generally, in the frog, the eyes are easily mobile. Those eyes are covered by a membrane that is called nictitating membrane. Due to the presence of nictitating membrane, the frog can clearly see in deeper layers of the water. Nostrils are present just behind the eyes. Nose is present just behind the eyes. They are used for receiving color and to take air inside during respiration. There are two gray patches on the sides of head. Those are called tympana. So the tympana helps to help the amphibians to hear. The amphibians to hear. The heart is three-chambered. The heart is three-chambered. The heart is three-chambered with two auricles and one ventricle. Okay, so the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood remain separate in the auricles but get mixed in the ventricles. So it is already everybody knows that. So like this way, triangular shaped heart is present. It is called right auricle. It is called left auricle. It is ventricle. In this one, deoxygenated blood and in this one, oxygenated blood, both are separated by a wall that is called septum. So generally, the body does not get fully oxygenated blood. Generally, in front, the total body does not get fully oxygenated blood. So the respiration generally takes place by the gills. Okay, so tadpole larva frog respire through gills. So terrestrial frog respires through lungs. So if unfavorable conditions are available, the frog respires through lungs. If sufficient water is available, then it can respire through skin. So generally, adults show cutaneous respiration. So adult frogs show respiration through the skin. That kind of respiration is called cutaneous respiration. So some can show buccal respiration. So buccal means what? So the mouth always open and takes oxygen. So pulmonary respiration. So the respiration which occurs through the lungs is called pulmonary respiration. And the larva or a tadpole respire by gills. So cutaneous respiration occurs through the moist skin. Buccal through the lining of the mouth cavity. Okay, buccal through the lungs. They are cold-blooded animals. That is, the temperature keeps changing along with the environment. So how the environment changes takes place, according to that, their body is changed. They show hibernation. They show hibernation, winter sleep, and also show aestivation, summer sleep. Example, Rana and Highland. Okay, that's all. Reptilia, characteristic features. So reptilia characteristic features. So they have creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals. They are mostly terrestrial habitats. Have dry, scaly, and cornified skin. Dry. Their skin is dry. Their body is covered by kind of a scales. Cornified. Some frogs have wheat color skin, that is called cornified skin. The scales are prevent the loss of water, and hence reptiles don't need moist environments. The body is covered by scales. Those scales prevent the excess loss of water through the skin. That's why reptiles don't need moist environment. Okay, so they don't have external ear openings. Tympanum represents the ear. So here specific ear openings are absent. Tympanum only helps to usually two pairs of they have two pairs of leaves. Leaves are with 5 toes. So the 5 toes are called pentadactylous leaves. 5 toes. Here, like this way. Like this. 5 toes will be there. So usually have two pairs of limbs. 4 limbs and hind limbs. Okay, so the limbs are 5 toes, 5 fingers, 5 disease, phalanges. Okay, that's it. Respiration is the lungs. The ribs helps to expand and contract, making the lungs efficient. So during the respiration, which occurs through the lungs is called pulmonary respiration. During the pulmonary respiration, the ribs are expanded and again comes to contract. Okay, the heart is 3-chambered with the partial septum. The heart is 3-chambered with partial septum in the ventricle. And the oxygenated blood does not mix completely with the deoxygenated blood. Here, see, generally reptiles have incompletely divided 4 chambers. This is right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. So here deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood both are separated by a vertical wall. Vertical wall. That vertical wall is called septum. That vertical wall is called. Okay, this is also septum. Okay, that's it. The heart is 3-chambered with a partial septum. So 3-chambered means what? It is incompletely divided. Reptiles have incompletely divided 4-chambered heart except crocodile. So here this is septum. This is septum. It will prevent the mixing of deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. So crocodiles have 4-chambered heart. Already now only I said that. They are cold-blooded animals, generally poikilothons, living on land. Cold-blooded means what? So their body temperature cannot maintain constant. According to the environment, their body temperature is keep on changing. Some have become secondarily aquatic. The fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. So oviparous, they give birth directly to the young ones. So the development is direct. Direct means what? Directly they give birth to young ones. They produce yolk-filled eggs. The egg is filled with a yolk, having a third membrane called amnion. So generally, amnion around the baby, a kind of fluid will be there. That is called amnion. So that amnion filled with a fluid, that is called amniotic fluid. Around the baby, there is a membrane that is called amnion. That amnion is filled with a fluid, that is called amniotic fluid. The amnion provides a watery environment, hence it eliminates the need for external water. So, for example, in mother womb, this is called amnion. Amnion. So, said baby will be there. Baby. So, see here, in between these, this is amnion. In between these two space is there. This space is filled with fluid that is called amniotic fluid. This fluid provides water environment and hence it eliminates the need for external water and also give protection to the developing embryo. Baby nothing but embryo. Okay. So examples: crocodile, Nasa, scientific name is cobra, Bangaras, crate, viper. So all the examples are from the phylum, sorry, the class. Next, birds. So here is nothing but birds. The characteristic features are that help the birds in flight. The forelimbs are modified into wings. They are also covered by feathers. birds, the forelimbs, front limbs, legs are modified limbs. They're also covered by feathers. Their body is covered by feathers. Hind limbs are generally have scales. Hind limbs, what back legs generally have scales, like this way, scales. See, like this way, like this. These are covered by a kind of a scales. Limbs. These are called scales. And are modified, these legs are modified for walking, swimming, clasping the tree branches, holding the tree branches. Okay, skin is dry without glands. Generally, the skin is dry without glands, except the oil glands. Those oil glands are the base of the tail. So the skin is dry. Generally, the bird's skin is dry without any glands. Sweat glands are absent except oil glands. Those oil glands are the base of the tail. At the base of the tail region, oil glands are present. Generally, exoskeleton is fully bony, ossified, have light porous and bones with air cavities to reduce the body weight. Generally, the bone have light and porous. So the bones have pores. Those porous bones. So those porous bones fill with air. So then they will reduce the body weight. Generally, heart is 4-chambered, which allows complete separation of the oxygenated blood from the deoxygenated blood. See here, the heart is 4-chambered, like this. The heart is 4-chambered. Right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. Here, deoxygenated blood is located. Here, oxygenated blood. So, from the right auricle, deoxygenated blood enters into the right ventricle. Deoxygenated blood. So, from the left auricle, oxygenated blood enters into the left ventricle. Okay, see here. So these 4 chambers, the blood is fully separated by vertical walls. These are called septums. Septum. Okay. The heart is 4-chambered, which allows complete separation of the oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood. The heart is 4-chambered, which allows complete separation of the oxygenated blood from the deoxygenated blood. Okay. So the hind limbs are adapted for perching. Hind limbs. The hind limbs are adapted for perching. Okay, the hind limbs are adapted for perching. Hind limbs mean adapted for perching. Perching means what? Here for back of the soil or any waste materials and collect the food materials. Okay. So the tail is used for changing the direction. The tail helps for changing the direction. Have constant body temperature. Those are called warm-blooded animals. Homeothermic animals like us, their body temperature is constant. The heart of the bird beats faster in order to supply large amount of oxygenated blood into the body. Generally, in the birds, the heartbeat is very fast to supply a large amount of oxygenated blood to all the body parts. So generally, it may range from 135 to 590 beats per minute, and it may go to up to 1000 beats per minute in some birds. That's all. Next, generally in the birds, respiration occurs by lungs. That kind of respiration is called pulmonary respiration. So they have large eyes and strong sense of eyes. So the large eyes, large P-shape eyes are present. They are very strong sense of sight. Okay, the field of vision remarkable. Okay, the remarkable vision is there. That ability to judge the distance from close range as well as from a great height. So they can view the objects very perfectly from nearer to distinct objects. Generally, in the birds, the sexes are separate. Male sexes and female sexes are separate. The fertilization is internal fertilization. So they are oviparous. They give birth to, they give eggs. They lay eggs, and the development is direct. The egg is direct. The egg development is direct. The egg development is direct. So the disappearance of right ovary and right oviduct reduces weight, and it is adaptation to flight. So generally, right ovary and right oviduct in birds are reduces upset. Due to that, it reduces body weight and helps for flight. As the birds swallows the food without crushing, they will not crush the food material, directly they will swallow. So the digestive system is modified. It has additional chambers like crop, which stores the food and soften the food and gizzard. which is a muscular wall to crush and churn the food material. In the birds, a kind of a gizzard will be there. That gizzard contains stones. So those stones will crush the food material and crush and churn the food material. Some birds may even have stones in the gizzard. That's what I said. So that helps crushing the seeds and nuts. Examples: hummingbird, penguin, emu, ostrich, kiwi, and quail. Okay. Next class, Mammalia. Next class, Mammalia. Okay. See here, Mammalia. So, Mammalia characteristic features. They are viviparous. They give birth directly to the young ones and nourishes the young ones with milk secreted from their mammary glands. Generally, mammals have breast to develop with mammary glands. The mammary glands provides nutrients to the young ones. The body is covered with hair. So presence of external ear or pinna. The body is covered with just presence of external ear or pinna. So they have external ear. That ear is also called pinna. Teeth develop in sockets. That kind of development is called thecodont dentition. So they are modified into incisors. Generally, in the teeth are modified into incisors. Incisors helps to incisors, canines, premolars, molars, etc. This kind of dentition is called heterodont dentition. The milk teeth are replaced by permanent teeth. So the mammals have to set two kinds of teeth. That kind of arrangement is called diphyodont dentition. That kind of arrangement is called diphyodont dentition. The heart is four-chambered and hence deoxygenated blood remains separated from the oxygenated blood. Generally, the heart is four-chambered. The heart is four-chambered. That is four-chambered. Right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. Here it is always receives deoxygenated blood. Here oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood, oxygenated blood. Okay, the heart is four-chambered. Hence, deoxygenated blood remains separated from the oxygenated blood. It's deoxygenated blood separated from the oxygenated blood. The body gets a continuous supply of oxygenated blood all the time. The red blood cells are small, circular, and non-nucleated. Generally, in mammals, the immature red blood cells contains nucleus. Mature red blood cells don't have a nucleus. Generally, those are small, circular, biconcave in shape, except in camel. In the camels, red blood cells contains a nucleus. Okay, that's all. Next, except in camel. Okay, next. There is a muscular diaphragm. In between thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity, there is a diaphragm is present. That is called muscular diaphragm. So the muscular diaphragm separates the thoracic cavity from its up and down movements and also helps in thoracic cavity from its up and down. So see here, muscular diaphragm that separates the thoracic cavity from its up and down during the breathing. So cerebellum and cerebrum of the brain are highly developed in mammals. It gives the mammals some dominance. It gives the mammals dominance. It gives the mammals dominance. It gives the mammals dominance on other groups because it gives better ability to learn, think, and respond. Generally, comparatively other group of other class animals, mammals, in the mammals, the brain is well developed. That's why it gives the ability to learn, think, and respond comparatively other class organisms. Mammals have thinking capacity. They are warm-blooded animals, homeothermic, have a constant body temperature. Though environmental changes takes place, but our body temperature is always constant. In mammals, body temperature is always constant, including human beings. So skin has sweat glands. Skin has sweat glands. The skin has a number of sweat glands. They have 7 cervical vertebrae. They have 7 cervical vertebrae. So on the dorsal side, 7 cervical vertebrae are located in the neck region. In the neck region, there are 7 pairs of cervical vertebrae. They have 2 pairs of limbs. Those are variously modified for locomotion. They are adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming, or flying. In all aspects, those 2 pairs of limbs are helps. Example, oviparous, ornithorhynchus. Viviparous, macropus. Kangaroo. Cameli, cameli, camellus, camellus, camel. Macaca, monkey. So these are the examples of